WeChat.
WeChat.
This is a lot different.
Person. This is our first in-person video together since we have started this channel. Because it's the first time I have seen my Moth for the first time. First time in months.
That is true, and we are not in the U.S. So it's crazy that our first in-person podcast just so happens to be overseas, right?
In Norway.
In Norway. More specifically Norway. But so we were kind of coming up with some different ideas of, what we were doing. The past couple episodes that we had have been heavily revolved around draft, the Pokemon draft, or actually every single episode. The past three specifically, our draft, our mock before, and then our first week. So we did that. But today we're going to be talking about the topic at hand we have is gaming while traveling. And now we just probably flew about 8.5 hours or more on a plane. But Christian alone spent almost 26 hours.
I think it's 24 hours.
While traveling? 24 hours. So going from airport to airport, whether that's driving to the airport, sitting in the airport, layover, etc.
3 flights, multiple drives.
100%.
A lot of
and
stuff.
We just wanted to talk about gaming and traveling. So, a lot of people who are gamers, I'm sure they're getting their gamer fix or gaming fix while they're traveling. And we just kind of wanted to have a little take on, some of our opinions on some do's and don'ts while traveling and gaming. Some of the best, video games or systems. What are some not great ones, specifically revolving around flying, just because we flew, but we could also talk about driving the car and stuff like that. But if you had any opinions you'd like to start off with, or I can start.
For me, my biggest take, I am a sibling. This is my brother. So we might have a little bit different takes than a only child. But I think when I think of traveling, there is one game that is always in my mind, and it is Mario Kart. Whenever we had long road trips with our cousin, I strictly remember 2 hours plus one way, all trading around Mario Kart Super Circuit on his Game Boy between the three of us, or playing Mario Kart DS all three together on an airplane. You can't listen to the music as much, so multiplayer games you don't really need to. Your goal is just to win first place, and you can keep racing over and over again, doing different maps, and it is a ton of fun, in my opinion, to travel. So I think Mario Kart is one of my favorites, especially because there's usually one or more of us when traveling. So that's one of my takes.
Yeah, one thing Christian didn't mention is, at least on Mario Kart DS, only if you had two DSs, but one Mario Kart DS cartridge, you could still play. So one of the great things about the Nintendo DS was, I think a lot of games had this, where it was, I don't even know
DS download play.
That's what it was, DS download play. One of the best innovation in gaming ever. And I think Nintendo is really the only one to ever do it. But basically, for those who don't know, is one person only needed the cartridge. The other person or both players may not have access to the full cartridge, but you had a bunch of options, whether that was Mario Kart Battle, which is or Balloon Battle, whatever it was called. I think Coin Race, or you could actually race normally. I don't remember specifically offhand, Christian. But
I think we did battles. Now that I think about it, 99% of the time, balloon battles were fire, because you start the beginning of the game going trying to get your balloons blown up, which is so funny. In the car, all the children in the back just blowing into their DSs.
100%. One thing that I wanted to talk about is, what is the best system for traveling? And now we're going to group traveling in terms of, let's say, walking, in the car, on a train or bus, flying.
On a plane.
On a plane. In my humble opinion, I think handhelds rule. So,
you can't bring a PS5 on a flight.
No.
That's for sure.
Handhelds rule for sure. And I don't know if a Switch is a handheld. I don't know. Although that's a great option. But for me personally, this is probably a hot take, but I think the DS, whether that's the 3DS, the DS normally, is the best console for traveling if you're going to game while traveling. Now, I know a lot of people, they have the Steam Deck, right? It's probably arguably the best. If someone said, oh, the Steam Deck is the best system to game with, Christian, I'd probably be like, you know what, you're right.
I don't know. I would still disagree. I think there's one main reason. Well, it depends on which form of travel.
Yeah,
But for
internet.
flying specifically, DS I think is the best one
Yeah.
because you get the most amount of games. If it's an older DS, you can still play Game Boy games. If it's a 3DS, you can play both. But the number one thing is TSA. A Steam Deck and a Switch is too big, and you'll have to take it out separately and put it in a separate container.
That's not even
Whereas
that
a
big of an
DS,
issue, though. I thought you were going to say something
but
more
like
controversial.
if you
That's
if you were
normal.
if you're gonna lose it, if something's going to happen, it would be when you take it out in a separate controller. Maybe they say, hey, this guy's got a lot of electronics. Maybe he's got dangerous things in there. Let's take him out and strip search him. Let's pat him down. You know.
You know what?
With a DS, that might not happen.
I will tell you this quick story, actually. I don't know if you were traveling with me when this happened, but I think this was probably 5+ years ago. But I actually got taken out of TSA specifically for my DS.
Really?
I don't know if you were here for this. I can't remember what trip or what it was, but anyway, I got taken. So you know when you go through the metal detector, whatever, you're waiting for your bag, and if it goes through that like tunnel, whatever, the search tunnel, the X-ray tunnel, and it goes in the other lane, that means you're gonna have to talk to a gentleman for whatever reason. And I'm thinking, okay, what do I have in my bag? What do I have in my backpack? And he pulls out my DS and he whips it open and he like rubs on it this towelette and he like scans it. And I'm thinking like, what is going on? Is he cleaning my DS? What's going on? And he made me like, it wasn't necessarily DNA, but I think he made me rub my hands on something to scan for something that I had some residue on it. And for obvious reasons, I did not, and he let me go. But I'm thinking like, how the heck did my DS get flagged? My DS get flagged for something that was, had to be, or there had to be concern for. So super strange, but
That's crazy. I did
yeah.
not know that story. That's
That was years
so
ago.
funny.
That was like right after high school.
Yeah, anytime I brought my Switch on a flight, I think it's only been like 2 or 3 times. Every single time they're taking it out of the case I have it in, they're like taking a look at it and stuff, and they've never given me any issues with my DS at all.
Yeah.
So I think DS is superior for flying, but the Switch is very good. I mean, you always had a Switch Lite. I always had the Switch itself. And like some people, you can set up a little screen and play with it like a controller. I feel like you personally can never do that on a flight because you got like this much room to yourself. And that's where like the DS, like you can go like this, you can go like this, you can go like this. Whereas like a Switch, you can't even like turn this way without getting in the way of someone.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
DS is like the perfect size. And I know people are like Game Boys are good, but I think they're a little old.
Yeah.
that
It's
time.
getting a little dated, I think. Me personally, I'm not really playing anything lower than like GBA besides Pokemon on
That's
the Game Boy
probably
Color.
it. Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I just wanted to quickly mention some of the games that I played. And so I recently made some purchases. And I'm not one to make a lot of game purchases. I think Christian isn't either. We really only get video games for, whether it's our birthdays or Christmas. But I think both of us had access to some different resources, whether that was possible emulation
Or Facebook Marketplace.
Christian and I have now, or I don't want to speak for you, but I have developed a new addiction, and that is Facebook Marketplace. And I've got my hands on a game that I have never played and never really knew much about. It's called Fossil Fighters. And now I will say, this is one of those games that's not great for flying. So if you have a DS, there's a lot of DS games that utilize the stylus as a main component of the game. Whether that's the stylus or the touchscreen, I'm saying them both in the same vein. But Fossil Fighters is a RPG, I guess it's a RPG of, finding dinosaurs and fighting them or whatever. And to excavate, excuse me, right? That's the word?
Yeah.
Excavate. You got to tap, 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 tap. And when, you're experiencing a lot of turbulence or even just the shakiness of being on a flight, it's not the best, but I had a blast nonetheless. So I will say that game is not the best for the flight. And one game that I will say is good is like Pokemon, right? You're not really using the touch screen at all. Is there any games that you played where, like you were playing Ranger?
When I was on the flight, I would play probably the absolute worst game you can ever play on an airplane, which is Pokemon Ranger, Shadows of Alma. I have purchased them, non-pirated games on my non-pirated system. all of the Ranger games. And drawing a billion circles on a plane is not easy. So I played for maybe 20 minutes and was like, yeah, this is terrible. And I should probably stop because it is very hard. So I stopped doing that, but I love both the new Pokemon Rangers. Guardian Signs was always my favorite, but Shadows of Alma I never fully beat, so I'm in the process of doing that now. But there are some really good games, along with the Yu-Gi-Oh games that we have.
Yeah,
We're
oh my
both
gosh.
big into that. That is so easy to do on a flight because you just hit the A button 99.9% of the game. It's just doing that. It's just playing Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of some of the other games, but usually when we were with our cousin, we would all play Gen 4. This was on a trip to Disney World, where we all sat in different areas of the plane. We would play Capture the Flag in Underground, which is, again, one of the most underrated points of any game ever. I think Gen 4, just the Pokelathon and the Underground were goated. And so we would do that while we were on the plane, and I specifically remember with him sitting 8 or 9 rows behind us, and in the middle of the flight, when Carl snatched his flag, just going like, and freaking out, which is so funny. But yeah, again, I think multiplayer games are always good. But if you're doing a single player like I was doing while Carl was taking a quick nap in between Fossil Fighter games, just RPGs, slower paced games are usually good ones. If there's any like
Nintendogs.
I was like Brain Age, some simple, calm puzzle games are what a lot of people I think would consider to be good for flying.
You know what? Christian brought something up, and I just have to talk about it. Gen 4 is probably one of my favorite gens. I don't want to speak for Christian here. But the fact that there was so much in terms of multiplayer, the Pokelathon, the Underground, and then there was a lot of anticipation, at least in my age group. I was born in 2000, for Gen 5. And it almost seemed at that point that Pokemon couldn't get any better. And so when we got Gen 5 and they forced you into using only Gen 5 Pokemon, and what multiplayer stuff was there?
There was the, and then also the...
And then, wait, did we forget?
And then a little bit of the, but that was only post-game when you would do the...
Yeah, and then after you completed the Pokédex, you actually got access to this one multiplayer mode, and it was...
So there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just nothing.
It sucked.
You couldn't do anything with your friends.
No.
Unless
what happened to that?
A bunch of stuff. Again, let us know in the comments if there is, because we didn't experience it.
No, we didn't.
We couldn't play with each other at all. It was stupid. It was awful.
Did you have to have Wi-Fi or something? Because I know that there was the whole bottom screen
transceiver or whatever.
No, what was it called?
C-Gear.
Yeah, the C-Gear. This is how much I hate Gen 5.
C-Gear for crappy gear.
Yeah,
that's
we're getting into a little bit of a Gen 5 rant, because Christian and I
hate Gen 5.
It's just so overrated. I'm sorry. I know it's probably the most beloved Pokemon. And this is not the topic that we were here to talk about, but I just had to state that because I'm like, dang, that's so that's when it just fell off for me. But yeah, holy crap, the DS era and multiplayer games was fantastic. One thing I will say is, last time I traveled to Norway, I had gotten a copy of Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch. And I will say that is arguably one of the best games I've had the opportunity of playing while traveling, just because of there's no need for Wi-Fi, so that's really important when playing a game while traveling. And just the massive opportunities you had to participate and engage in was fantastic, and almost feeling like it was endless. So a 7-hour flight is going to fly by when there's just a lot of content that you can go through.
I think for me, one of the games I played the most, which is I was actually missing on the flight here, was when Carl and I, pre-COVID, had a 7.5-hour drive to South Dakota. I had my Switch and I was playing Slay the Spire. That is one of my favorite games. You can just sink hours and hours into that, but it is basically a rogue-like dungeon crawler with cards. So it's like if you mix Yu-Gi-Oh with like Binding of Isaac, put it into a game with a bunch of random stuff, and every single time you play the game, it is completely different, where you find different relics or power-ups, you go on different paths, you fight different enemies every single time.
How many times have you beaten it?
Well, there's different levels. So like each character, there's 4 characters. Each character has completely different cards, completely different bosses or whatever. And there are 15 like difficulty levels. And when you beat it once, you can go up a difficulty level. I've beaten it about 6 times on each level. It's like less than half on each one.
Yeah.
So 24-ish times. It's still so much fun. I was playing it again like a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, this game's really good. And they're making a second one for the first time in like 10 years.
I've never heard you talk about it.
I can't wait.
I'll have
It's
to
one
check
of
that out.
one of the only indie games I've ever played that I bought, and it's definitely worth what I spent on it, like for sure. I probably sunk like 100 hours into it, probably
way,
over the
really?
course of like 8 years or something like
Dude.
that. I got it when the Switch came out, I think, or whenever I got the Switch, which was 2 years after. But such a good game. It's just like it's cards, so it's like card combos. Reminds me a lot of you like Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
That's sick.
But yeah, I remember playing that because I think on that trip I played for 4 hours and beat it one time in those 4 hours with whatever level I was on. A lot of fun. And there's like secret endings and stuff with secret bosses. You have to do like certain things to do. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Interesting.
But let's see. I think traveling, like for the 4 different levels of travel, the only real big one I think is flying. But Carl, at the beginning, he mentioned walking. And I think if you're going to walk, there's only one game you can play that's good. And I think that's Pokemon Go. I don't think there's a single other game you can play while walking that is enjoyable outside of Pokemon Go.
I will say, in a little bit of my health era, if you will, sometimes where I really didn't care about, how I looked, is I'd kind of do the old Daniel Larson. For those who know, they know. But when I used to run a lot, I used to do like a 10K 5 times a week. And, I'm not that into music, me personally.
A 10K?
Yeah,
Well, how far?
6.2 miles.
Oh, I thought it was a lot
So I
more
do that
than
Monday,
that.
no, Monday through Friday or whatever. But anyway, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. And I used to play Clash. I used to ladder. So like, if I'm trying, I can run a 720 mile. When I'm playing Clash and just running, just trying to turn off my brain and do 2 things at once, let me play my stupid mobile game while I get exercise. I'm running like an 11, like I'm jogging, but I'm staring at my phone like I gotta act this out.
Do it in place. Yeah, there you go.
Mega Knight, Barbarians, Fireball. And yeah, I will say that definitely made running very
That's fair.
tolerable.
That's fair.
I will say Clash Royale. Now, I don't think I could do that with Brawl Stars, my new mobile game addiction, but yeah, I will say that that's another one. Yeah, dude, I don't think I could. I'd like run into the street and
With
get hit.
2 hands, because you'd have to be locked in for those 2 minutes. Whereas like Clash, I feel like you could place card, look up, look down, place card, look
Yeah.
up. I don't think there's Pokemon Go again. When I was in my Pokemon Go era, like last year, where I would walk dogs to get paid while playing. So I'd do like no work, just get paid to play Pokemon. I would do that quite a bit, and now I feel like it's the game. They got a new owner. Game kind of blows. It's
Yeah,
like,
the game sucks now. I'm sorry.
Only ran routes for Zygarde cells. That's all I really did. Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other mobile.
What other games did you
games.
play on this flight?
I played a lot of Ranger. I watched a lot of movies.
Yeah,
actually.
you were a
Watched
movie
a lot of
watcher,
movies.
yeah.
The little airplane games. We never mentioned those. I always check out the little airplane games. Every single time I'm on a plane, I go right to poker or blackjack, boop, and I spend all my money till I lose, and then I quit. I didn't do it this time, but I'm doing it on the way home because it's just gambling with no stakes. So you can just bet the frickin' farm on every single hand. And
It's like some addict stuff, bro. Yeah.
Who doesn't like gambling? What can I say? Love gambling, love random chance things.
There's slots. That'd be so degenerate. Like fake slots on the
I bet if
airplane.
you take a flight to Vegas, they have slots.
I bet you they do. That's pretty...
If they had like a freaking wheel where it was like bet 100, win 200, or lose it, and they just had a wheel, I would sit there and freaking spin it for hours.
That's tough.
That's so funny. But yeah, the little airplane games are always really fun. They always have like terrible trivia where it's like, what is 2 + 5? But outside of the gambling games, the airplane games are pretty bad, I think.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a market that didn't need to be tapped into. personally. It's kind of bogus. Dude, they have like a freaking 200 movies, at least on Delta. Delta knows what's up when it comes to their movies, I will say.
I think before the iPad kid days, it was huge. Because
No, it was
kids can't sit through a movie on a flight. So I'm sure the little kids are like, game. Yes, I'm like
I
sure.
really think the shows and the movies are way better. Bro, you throw
I mean,
like
yeah,
Paw
the shows
Patrol.
and the
Come on
shows
now.
and movies are way better, but like,
I never played the games growing up.
yeah, but we didn't fly under the age of like, well, we kind of did.
I mean, I was not like conscious.
Most of it.
Probably.
I feel
at
like
the
I just
ages
slept.
that you're thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like probably ages like 5 to 10. We flew a handful of times, probably more than most, but
You think? Just
I would say just going to Norway once or twice in that time.
Did we even say why we're in Norway?
Family.
Yeah, most of our family lives here. Family, just like Fast and the Furious.
Yes. So we're here
That's a dead
visiting
meme.
cousins, aunts, uncles, fathers. It's my first time I've seen my dad in the same amount of time I've seen you, probably.
Yeah, probably half a year.
Yeah,
Longer
something
than
like that. New culture, trying to become more cultured. So
Yeah, that's why Christian's wearing a hat. You haven't seen him wear a hat in any episode.
didn't shower today, so I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah, he did. We swam in the ocean. I'm telling you, it was the coldest water I've ever touched in my life.
So cool. We're talking about video games. This is
Yeah, we're talking about video games.
We talk. I wish you could play the Wii. Wish you could play the Wii on the flights, but you can't.
Sick.
Trying to think of what else you would do traveling, because like mobile games have kind of taken over. Like,
Yeah, they have.
I spent a lot of time in Brawl Stars when we were in the airport, just playing that.
Yeah,
'Cause
Brawl Stars is so much fun now.
We're big Supercell people. We hated Clash of Clans, which is like the hottest take on the planet. But
We loved it when we were 12.
Yeah.
So almost 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't
then
know.
Clash Royale came out, and I dropped it as fast as possible.
Yeah, it was just like so.
Clash of Clans is boring. You like tap and you wait, and you tap and you wait.
This might be a hot take too. Clash Royale is not that great anymore.
Oh, I don't know if that's a hot take anymore.
Really?
It's bad.
It's kind of been
bad
tanking.
game.
Yeah.
When it first came out, there was so much like love poured into the game.
Yeah.
And genuinely right now, if you have Clash Royale, I want you to go into the shop, just like boop, swipe to the shop, and count how many swipes it takes to get where they're not begging for money. I'm serious. You swipe. I remember when the whole freaking birthday Clash Royale thing came out, you had to scroll like 10 finger touches to get to the free shop where you spend like free things.
Yeah.
Where it was like $6.99, $10.99, $25.99. You want one card evolution? Oh, good luck paying $40 real life cash for it. Like, no, it's crazy.
Yeah, it
it's
is
like
insane.
super pay to win now. With the whole Pass Royale, the worst invention ever made.
I just can't believe, like, if for those who play Supercell games, so the Brawl Star Pass is somehow less expensive than Clash Royale, but in my opinion, the Clash Royale Pass, you don't even really get that much. And maybe that's just because Christian and I are so high level. We've been playing for so many years. I mean, we're tower level 15. Christian has most
max
of his stuff
trophies.
maxed.
A lot of my stuff is maxed. I remember when max level was 13.
Yeah.
It's raised 2 levels now because they're like, well, we need some way to charge these whales for money.
That's inevitable though, right?
Yeah. But adding a pass to anything, in my opinion, just ruins it. It's like
It's expensive. It's like $12.99. I think.
I still thought it was like
$11.99 or
$6.99.
$10.99.
So
I don't
that's
know what
crazy.
it is, but
no, last time I looked at it, I was like, dang, $6.99 a month is crazy. But I know you showed me, you're like, it's more. It's double digits, and I almost pooped my pants.
no, it's insane.
It's like double digits for a mobile game. It's crazy. A month. You don't even get anything. You get extra gold. Oh, whoop-de-doo. That's not good. And they just now took shops away. So they had these little like special shops, and they took them away, or like daily quests. That's gone now. Like, I remember when clan chests were like a sacred item. The first clan chest that came out when you had Clan Wars were like sought after. And now there's no reason to play the game daily for me. Like, none. I would only do
Star
challenges.
drops are kind of mid.
Star drops are terrible. They stole it from Brawl Stars, and it's one of the worst parts of Brawl Stars.
Well, they stole it. It's the same freaking company. But
yeah.
The 5-star drops, I mean, I've only gotten a handful, and it's all just the book of common cards. For those who know, they know. Literally the worst thing ever.
So
It's like,
bad.
I'm maxed out. Why can't I get like gems or something?
Yeah, worst thing I got was gold, because I already have 3 million gold.
Yeah,
and they gave me another like 100K. I was like, oh wow, I totally needed that. Like, this is awful. And in Brawl Stars, that's my biggest complaint is like, the thing you keep fighting for are these legendary drops, and you open it, it's a freaking skin. I had one yesterday. Our cousin got a legendary drop. I got one. He got a new character. I got a freaking skin. It was like a blue skin. I was like, oh wow, that was just a huge waste
But
of my
low
time.
key, I think the younger kids they mess with the skins because it's kind of tough to get the good skins, right?
All right,
I
that's
actually don't
fair.
know. I
But
actually don't know.
I didn't get
Quote
a good
me.
skin. I got a
Comment
bad
down below
skin.
if I'm wrong.
But yeah, I'm a big Battle Pass hater. It ruins games. Fortnite made it big, and now every company is like, I'm making a game. Where's the way I can exploit children for money? It's like, oh.
The day Pokemon drops a battle pass is the day I'll stop playing.
I am
think.
worried that's soon, personally. I think it's going to be soon. Mark
don't
my
know
words,
how-
in the next 2 games, there will be a Battle Pass in
I
some
don't know
shape
how
or
they
form.
incorporate that into any game.
Not Legends
I don't even want to think
Arceus,
about it.
Pokemon Champions.
Oh,
I think that's what it's called. I bet
They've
there's going
already
to be a
done it.
freaking
They've
Battle
already
Pass.
done it. Guess what game?
Unite has
Pokemon-
a Battle Pass.
Pokemon Unite
That's
has
so
a battle
funny.
pass.
Doesn't
Doesn't
it? Yeah, it does. Because I remember looking at it and just hating it like so much. Yeah.
I'm
All right.
like in shock right now.
Carl now has to. What'd you say? Eat your shoe? Is that what you said? No.
Did I say that?
No, I don't know
I
what
was
you
like,
said.
what? No, I'm just.
But
They have a battle pass, bro. Dude, wait.
that's so funny.
So I downloaded this game when it came out. Does Pokemon Sleep have a battle pass? I think it does.
I didn't even get it. That's
I
the
think it
only
does.
game I didn't even give a shot, but I believe it.
Dude, I think it does. I deleted it within the first couple days because it just is bullshit. Or it's just.
It's a
Sorry for
fire
swearing.
hazard.
It's just.
You put your phone, here's your pillow. You put your phone under your pillow, pray it doesn't blow up while you sleep. That is like the most dangerous thing on the whole planet.
What about because Christian play I never got into this because I think it's really just a money grab, but Christian's into cards more than I, but you have
Yes.
TCG Pocket. Is there some sort of pass with that?
Yeah, there is. It's
So-
it's called the Premium Pass.
So we're eating our words this here, or at least I am. I just completely am
That's so
lying,
funny.
lying through my teeth here.
Yeah, and the Pokemon TCG Pocket, it is a Premium Pass where instead of 2 packs a day you get to open 3.
How
or
much is it?
4
Do you
packs
know?
a day. They have a 2-week trial that's for free, and I haven't even clicked on it. But if I had to guess, I would say $9.99. I think it's $10 a month.
Dang.
$10 a month. Sorry, hope it's not like.
No, you're good. I was just
so-
looking at it to. Wow, I'm like.
That's awful.
You see how how relaxed I was, and now I'm on like anxiety mode. I'm like
Yeah.
pent up.
What are we at time wise too? I have absolutely no
30.
idea. Almost 30.
27.
What was the original talk about this again? Not screaming about battle passes. It
yeah,
was
we're gonna talk about-
travel.
Traveling and gaming.
Traveling gaming.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta use the bathroom, and Christian has to do some stuff. You know,
I'm so tired.
I'm not gonna lie. We were on vacation. We completely forgot about this until minutes before we started.
Pretty much.
You know, we're trying to stay consistent, and of course, we couldn't let our viewers down. And of course, I'm sure we don't have a lot, if any, but staying consistent is very important when reaching your goals. But lastly, I just kind of want to say, I still think the 3DS beats, or the DS in general beats the Switch in travel and gaming.
I would agree. I think with flying,
Really,
yes.
I did not think you were going to agree with that.
I think with flying, yes. I think with driving, no. I think driving Switch is better, but again,
Why?
Switch
What's
2
the
will be
difference?
coming out.
What's the difference?
You have more space. Like in a car,
yeah.
usually there's 2 of us. Well, 3 usually, but in a back seat,
That's
like
super
you have
valid.
more space to kind of stick your hands out like this. And you don't have like a Wi-Fi with laptop. Like I feel like Steam Deck would probably be the best, but we don't have one of
Yeah.
those, and we're both Nintendo people.
Yeah.
But I think Switch 2 might change my mind either for better or for worse, because there's a lot coming out with that. I'm probably not going to get the Switch 2 right away.
Yeah.
I've been I think from the day I was born until the day I die, I am a not buy console on release person. I always wait a year, if
minute.
not 2 at most.
Let's think about this before we say that.
No, I'm serious.
Let's listen. Let's listen to our hearts.
The
and our
the
minds,
Wii we
and
got
look into our past.
we got the Wii late. I think that's probably the quickest one, and our dad got it.
GameCube 10 years later.
GameCube and N64 10 years later. The Switch I got
I
2
thought you said
years
you got
later.
it. Oh, okay.
Not on release because I didn't.
I got the
I didn't,
Switch, like,
Mario
7 years
Odyssey.
later.
I didn't start playing Mario Odyssey till like a year or 2 after it came out. Wii U we got late.
Did we?
Yep, because
That's the one I was thinking.
we got
might
Smash
have-
with our Wii U, and that came out a year after the Wii U came out. I was gonna say that's probably the closest one, but yeah, no, I never buy a console on release because they always hike the prices up, and then when people stop buying them, then they lower it.
Even when we got our DS, it was like, when did the DS come out? 2007.
I thought it was 2006.
I thought that was the Wii. Or were they
I thought Mario Kart came out in 2007, so I'm thinking it's 2006,
Probably.
but I don't know.
I trust your opinion.
I feel like I think the DS we got late. We didn't get it like
we got it in like 2012.
We got a DSi. That was our
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
DS was the DSi. It's like
Yeah.
I never actually technically owned a DS.
No.
Only ever a DSi. So when the DSi came out,
I just bought one on
that's
Facebook
when we got it.
Marketplace. I'm addicted, guys. This is a problem.
And my 3DS, I got a 3DS XL. That didn't come out right away. You got your 3DS a year before I got mine.
And you know what? I got it years after because I bought it on eBay. I was in high school when I bought it, bro, and it came out in 2013, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Like we never get on release because it's always expensive.
And I'm gonna
never good games. Never any good games right away. You
That's
gotta
so
wait
true.
for the good games.
Yeah.
My opinion. All you gamers out there, doesn't matter how much you like consoles. I am a little pokey harlot. I'm a pokey harlot, and I still wait. If they drop one on release, I'm still waiting. I don't care.
You know, if waiting doesn't do anything with the price, though.
Usually it does.
No, it doesn't.
Usually
The game
for the
prices-
console
for
itself.
The console price, yes.
Yeah. But get the
only-
game for play the console for the game. Don't get the console for the console.
Yeah, no, 100%. The only reason I would ever do it is the implementation of, what is it, Nintendo Plus with GameCube games. Seeing that was probably the biggest thing.
Pokemon
ever.
XD and Coliseum
We were
is
very
pretty good
excited to play
actually.
Coliseum. I've never played it personally. I don't think you have either. That's like
Up
one
there.
Of the, one of the top of our like bucket
Two
list games.
GameCube games I want to play more than anything in the world is Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon Strikers, and I think they're both on there.
You've never played the GameCube?
Nope.
I
Once at like a Smash tournament, but
okay.
like
I swear we.
I was playing with a guy who beat me like 11-0, and I've never played it before.
Yeah.
So
Is it different from the Wii?
so much different, a lot slower, and no like crazy power ups.
Oh really?
Like the super shot, I think it's worth like 2 points, maybe 3.
Oh yeah.
And you can't like block the goalie; he just goes in, and you're like, okay. So the Wii one's way better.
All right. Well, you have any, concluding statements?
Along with Carl, I also have to go to the bathroom. So I think we maybe end it here. Just not mobile
Let's
games.
get an in-person WeChat DAP.
DAP or salute.
Oh,
I'll set up.
I don't think we should do the salute.
That's a good
We're in
idea.
Europe
We're in
and,
Europe.
Elon
You shouldn't
Musk
be doing.
is,
You shouldn't be doing that. I'll put the
how do
mic
we
right
DAP?
here. I'll put the mic here. I don't know. We're just gonna. That was bad.
What do you want to do?
Cup the hands. Let's go. Like.
Do you want to do this one? So I'll teach you this one. No, look at this. Watch this. I'll teach you this.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready. Bam.
Lock that in. Let's get up to the camera to show that.
Oi.
Here, I'll stand on this side. I'll left-handy that.
Oh, left hand.
Or
Oi.
right, I'm tweaking. Here, bend down. I'm going to make
Sorry.
you do some work. No, get in the camera.
Go get in the camera. Okay. Bam. Right there.
Chat.
WeChat.
Subscribe, like, comment.
Like, comment, and subscribe,
Send
please.
money to our P.O. box.
You can meet Carl in real life if you do that.
Send us anything.
Please send us your money. Subscribe to the Patreon that we don't have yet.